In this video, we look at this chicane, which with one simple change will make the race so much better, and don't always copy other people. I'll show you why. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a Gran Turismo video. We're at Daily Racing, where I want to say one major change, or even a minor change to some of you, would actually help this race quite substantially and make this track nearly perfect, if not perfect. We'll talk about that in this video. First up then, Toby Dar there has a very slow start. No idea what happened there. The Porsche seemed to launch here that I'm in as we go into turn number 1 on the inside. We've got Porsche span round there. We'll have a look at what happened to them shortly as we are on the outside now of the Audi R8. Beautiful racing there as we go through the left-hander. We'll be back on board now and we are up into P14. We started at the back. 2 places gained already. Of a good race here, and you may have noticed that this lobby is rather stacked. Speed Racer in the distance there, of course a world champion. As we jump on board the Spanish driver here, heading towards turn 1, what happened to them then as they go on the inside? They were looking on the inside. Unfortunately, they've cut that a bit too much, and they're already spinning there, and they go around. So they go from 4th to last. That's unfortunate, and you can't spin the wheels on the racing soft tyres, so it's a very long way round. We put on board Marcos here then, right behind got Max Power later on in lap number 1. We're going to head towards the left-hander here then. And as we go into here, the slight tap from behind into Max Power, who goes absolutely flying there. That was a big old hit now. The Porsche from behind was slight contact. 5 seconds for Marcos, so that is a big old penalty there for the Max Power takeout. I'm back on board myself. I'm in the thick of the action here then as we head towards the chicane, which is the one place that drastically needs improving at this circuit. I hate this layout, I really do. Going into the braking zone then, we all slow down to basically nothing in terms of speed there. As we go through here, we're 3 wide, 2 wide. There's a ghosted car in there. I'm trying to go down the middle here. I sort of saw what was going to happen here, so I did back out of this a little bit. And B-Racer keeps the position up ahead as well. 2 penalties for Little Nicky and Lewis then. I see you, Little Nicky. Hope you're all well and good. As we are side by side with Tarrant then as we head towards turn number 1. And let's see what the Lamborghini driver is going to do here as we go into the braking zone. Little Nicky on the inside of Gallo then. And actually keeps the position there. We're trying around the outside of the Lamborghini. Going to be inside for this left-hander then as we slow the car down. Look at it, side by side. I love this kind of stuff. This is my kind of racing. I say it every single time. Side-by-side racing is all good for me. That's exactly what I want from a racing game. You really have fun actually racing rather than just sitting on my own racing around the circuit. I do like time trialing, but I'm here to race right now, and at least I'm getting that then. So looking on the inside of the Lamborghini as we go into the left-hander, not going to quite work there. And Bradley keeps the position for now as we go into the right-hander. I'll say for now, I'm on a mission in this race. I really am, and we'll see how it goes. As we head towards the hairpin then, can we make any moves? Oh, a little bit of server issues. The server's been really weird today. I speak about Monday here. It's been a bit all over the place. It was straight away this morning, and it seems to still be the case. A little bit not happy, probably the best description there. Little Nicky taking the penalty then. We're going to go up to P number 11, still behind Bradley right now. What we will do is advance a bit further on in the race. Lap number 4, Bradley's got past Lewis then in the Genesis. That's a different car choice. A few people are picking the Genesis this time around. I really like the Porsche, I've got to be honest. The Porsche to me, oh, a penalty for Lewis there for cutting the Schumacher S. The Porsche to me is a really, really, really good car now. They've really sorted it out in the latest patch. It suits my driving style so well. Much better than the BMW M6, that's for sure. Obviously, I'm used to the Audi R8 in GT Sport. This is giving me those Audi R8 vibes with a bit more stability. So I am really getting used to this Porsche. I really am liking it. Going to the chicane then, which is what we're here to talk about. And Lewis has to cut it there. Again, it's just so clunky, that chicane. And the annoying part about this track and layout is the answer is already there and it can be fixed. Remember, GT cars do race the other version of this layout, not the one we're racing right now with the very tight chicane. We jump on board Gallo here then, who's looking for the move on the Hungarian orb ahead. Marox as we go into the right-hander, still side by side. And look at this, in the GT by Citroen race car. You don't see this car too often. And that Supra starting to pull again then. There's a car right behind Gallo. That's the Lamborghini driver of Tarrant. As we head towards the chicane. Oh, goes for the switchback there. Gets it stopped. Very hard to get a move done there, but Gallo shows how it's done. That's why Gallo is a world champion as he goes into the pits. In fact, everybody goes into the pits. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try a different strategy to everybody else because I did say in the weekly race guide you probably should change tyres. Now, if you're not sure what that video is, I'll link it at the end. So I decided just to stay out and not change tyres. Try and get away from everybody else fighting and see what I can do. Going to head into the pits now, though. Everyone has been catching me. A couple of mistakes in the race. I should really be in the 55s, even on worn tyres. So that's something to look at in terms of the next one that we will do. So into the pits and back out again without the tyre change as we head towards turn 1. There's a car coming. That's Bradley then. That's the Lamborghini driver. I've been racing this entire race. So you can see the difference there in terms of the fact that I just stayed out of traffic and the action, and I actually gained places in the end. You know, we overtook Momaka behind the Hungarian driver, and we're actually going to finish P8. Yes, it's a bit slower without the tyre change, but you get out of the traffic, which actually helps you. B-Racer went off into distance in P5 there. A good little race. Much better than my weekly race guide race, that is for sure. But a very stacked lobby as well. So we jump to the next one here. And arguably, this is getting even more stacked at the moment as Breeze joined in the fun. So we started P15 this time. And once again, we've got a launch on the Audi. This Porsche really is a rocket ship. Literally from the get-go then as we head in towards turn number 1. And the Audi takes avoiding action then. So I'm going to take full advantage of that. Get on the inside of Toby once again. Toby, you'll be fuming with this. 2 for 2 for me as I take that in turn 2. And we're up to P14. And look at this up ahead. Everybody side by side. This is good. This is good. And I'm going to talk about my scoring system a little bit later on in this one as well, because I've had a couple of questions about it in terms of what is a 10 out of 10 race? How would you improve this race? And I will explain that in due course. But we're here about the chicane as we go into the left-hand. Then we're going to see if the chicane causes problems on this race. Every race I've seen, every race I've done, the chicane has caused problems so far. Oh, hello. Bree had a bit of a wiggle there. Bradley had to hit the brakes. I managed to just slightly tap Bradley, not absolutely rear-end him to Narnia. And Toby just backed out of it completely here as we go into the hairpin. Side-by-side action up ahead. Lewis on the inside of F1 Slayers. They've had an issue in this one, I'm sure, because they started much further up the grid then as we head to the Schumacher S for the first time of asking in this second race. And through we go then. Now you may notice those tyre temps. I get questions each and every time about the tyre temps in the bottom left hand side. It's an app. I don't see them as I'm racing because on my far screen. You can see them if you want to race. You just need to download the app. As who's that? Oh, B-Racer's crashed there on the left hand side in a Beetle this time. We'll have a look at that shortly. But yeah, tyre temps, you can view them. They're there on the edit. I don't see them as I race. They're not in-game. Just put that out there. I will be doing a video on it, so just bear with me on the video. I've been saying that for a month and a bit now. But the video will come, and it's hopefully going to explain tyre temps in a little bit more detail in terms of what you're looking for and what you're not looking for. That chicane wasn't as clunky this time. It's still a bit annoying with the look of jumping it. So let's have a look at what happened to B-Racer. And this is Valerio Gallo in towards the left-hander then. We've got the Swedish driver on the right-hand side there. Unfortunately, didn't leave Gallo enough room, and Gallo went into the sandpit and is going to come out all the way at the back, but not giving up. Good sign there from Gallo. Always determined, never giving up here. We'll see where Gallo finishes at the end of this one. So Bree is really struggling in this Supra right now. Bradley goes around the outside of the Supra as we continue through the Mercedes-Benz arena here and in towards the next part of it. The left-hander here needs to get it tight. Get a good run on the right-hander. That's what I'm trying to do here. They're side-by-side up ahead. So I'm like, excellent. Here we go. I can get a run here. 2 for 1 is what I'm going for. But there's no room at the inn. And we have to bump draft Tarrant instead as we go into the left-hander side-by-side with Bree. A little bit of oversteer from everybody here. Very easy to get oversteer in that corner. As we continue on through here, we get a brilliant run on Bree on the exit. Then can we get this job done finally and get up into P12? That is the question. The Supra coming back at me here as we head into the hairpin. Very hard to go around the outside here. Extremely hard, in fact, and not done this time. So we do get that P12 position. Let's fast forward a little bit then. Let's catch up to the next part of the racing action. What's going to kick off here then as we head towards the chicane once again. The annoying chicane. I just hate the tightness of this. This was the Formula 1 layout, I believe. And you can see here the jumps as well. Just make it all a bit funky and weird. I just don't like it. I've never liked that chicane, but the answer is there to fix it. And again, I'm going to show you later on the alternative layout, which is the layout I really wish to bring to Gran Turismo, because I think it would actually amplify the racing. Oh my word, look at that face on the back of the RCZ. Indicator on them, which I did spot in the race actually. So I'm going to head towards the right side here. Now, they were trying to let Bradley go, but they break a bit early, and I get on the inside here. I go for that dive. I make it absolutely perfectly, and job done, up into P11. Not a bad move if I do say so myself. Now, some of you will be saying, Tish, that was a dive. They're not allowed. Yes, they are. As long as they're clean, they're fair. In my opinion, as long as you make the apex, some people say even if you don't make the apex, it's fine. But for me, as long as you make the apex, which I did there, plenty of space on the outside, those moves are fine. We are here to race at the end of the day. Speaking of racing, F1 Slays there struggling with speed. That must be a penalty as we go into the chicane. What's getting here? You're seeing the problem with the chicane. It just backs everybody up. Slows the momentum of the circuit. Oh, my word, Bradley, that was close. Going into the pits right on the front there of F1 Slayers. But you saw there in the chicane just how much it bunches everybody up. It just loses the rhythm of the circuit as we continue on to lap number 4. Now, we've got TMR Max P up ahead. I'm pretty sure I had issues with this driver in a previous weekly race guide. I could be wrong with that, or a previous video. I seem to remember the name for some reason, and it did have me a little bit concerned when I stayed out and saw that name. I could be wrong. It could be a mistake. I don't know. Apologies if that is the case, Max P. Now, we continue on out of here. Max P leaves a little gap here. So once again, I go for that dive. We nail the apex. Job done. Happy days. I love that move. Really was opportunistic, and you have to send it in this race. 9 laps only. There's not a lot of laps to do stuff here. As we come into the chicane again, really trying to yeet the chicane as best as we can. And I don't like the takeoffs that we have. Lap number 5, we're coming in the pits 10. And in this one, we are going to change tyres. Mainly because we've got a bit more fresh air here. And then we can have a good race with Lewis. Well, that's the plan at least. So, Porsche team, we are in. PCR team members, get those tyres on. And let's get out there in the Porsche for the second half of the race. The big group of cars along the left-hand side there. There's Bradley Breeze in there as well. As we go into this right-hander, though, F1 Slayers, I'm not sure, sees me there. And there's a slight bit of contact there as we continue on through. And I did feel I probably should have been giving that back, maybe. I'm not too sure. Bit of a weird one. It's hard to see as well, to be honest, on the pit exit. But we continue on. I know F1 Slayers is a clean driver, and they will have their own view of that incident. It's all good. I love racing F1 Slayers. Let's continue on with this video then. Lap number 7. Everyone says looking for the move on Bree then in towards turn number 1. And do they get it stopped? They do. See? Clean as a whistle like that. You see? They didn't hit Bree. They nailed the corner perfectly. So it's all good. Into the left we go then. Can't quite get alongside here. Lewis had that penalty. Lewis loves penalties here at this circuit for some reason. Always a 0.5 second penalty, which is the Schumacher S normally. As we continue on through here. In towards the right we go. So close to F1 Slays. Now remember, I came in a lap later than these guys. In fact, it might have been 2 laps later than some of them in terms of pits. So my tyres are pretty fresh in the grand scheme of it. So I'm going to be quicker than these guys. I need to find a way past them very quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to be losing lots and lots and lots of time. We continue on then here towards the hairpin. F1 Slayers goes defensive then as we go into the hairpin on the outside. Look at this side-by-side action. I said you couldn't do it around the outside. Apparently, I'm proving myself very wrong here, though. F1 Slayers does have the lead here. I get a better run on the exit. I'm going to have the inside line for the Schumacher S, though, so F1 Slayers has to back out of this. And we do go up to P10 there. And we've got Bree in the distance, who we know has been struggling here. And we'll see what we can do versus them. So lap number 8, then. Bree's ahead of Lewis here after that penalty. Lewis sent it down the inside. Does he get it stopped? Yes, he does. Beautiful little opportunistic move there. F1 Slayers right behind me as well. I have to keep that in my mind then as we go into the left-hander. Look at this side-by-side action then between these two. I'm trying to figure out the best place to go here to try and overtake Bree in that Supra, and then I can have my run at Lewis. Lewis is pitted at the same lap as me. So Lewis does have the fresher tyres like I do. I have to lift off there with Bree getting all sorts of sideways there. He does manage to catch it. I don't hit him either, so survives with my reactions there. You're welcome, Bree. As we continue on here. Now, I'm going to try around the outside on this corner. This is a ridiculously hard move to pull off. Bree gives me plenty of space there. Loses the rear end a little bit, struggling with those tyres. But we get the run out of the corner, and that is a move I don't think I've ever done, ever. Or at least very rarely around the outside on that corner. But we did it. Happy days indeed. What we are going to do now, though, is advance towards that final lap. There we go. And let's see if we can get the move done on Lewis. Now, we have the same tyre life here. Maybe the Lamborghini is a bit worse because it is a Lamborghini as we head towards the left-hander here. Now, I'm thinking towards the chicane here. I absolutely want to yeet it through there. Try and get lucky with a jump, which is why I don't like the chicane, because it's all about luck if you really want to yeet it. As we continue on out of here then. So gap at the moment, 0.3 of a second. I go towards the left-hand side here to avoid slipstream. I don't want to be too close if I am going to yeet it here as we go into the chicane then and go through here. I don't quite yeet it enough, but I do try my best. I'm very aggressive with it. We do catch up to Lewis here in terms of gap, but it's not quite enough as we go into the final corner then and continue on through here. A little bit of understeer, but even so, we catch it all the same. We head towards the line Lewis does a little bit of a wiggle, happy with that race result. I come home in P8 and once again have another fantastic race. It's a good race, this one. I'm going to talk about my scores in a little bit because a lot of people were saying, why is it only a 5 out of 10, Tidge? I will explain why. What you are going to do, though, is talk about the layout first. So for those that don't know, in terms of Gran Turismo, they do have different layouts at the Nurburgring. They just don't have the GP layout that I want. And I argue some of you will want as well. So the layout that I'm after is coming up here. So you come up to the chicane. It's not the tight chicane. It's this one. Look how lovely this is. It would be so good. You could have really good moves into the final corner then. I play it on ACC in terms of this circuit. It's such a good and better chicane because you can really do that. Let's look at that again then. So as you come into here, you carry the speed. So you don't go for moves into the chicane here usually. You can do, but it's a bit risky. You aim out of this corner. You nail the momentum through the corner and go for it into the last corner. It is so much better. And I really wish they'd make that big change here at Nürburgring to really improve the Grand Prix layout. Now, in terms of scores, let me just talk about this briefly because some people were questioning it. Start type's only 0.5 out of 1 because it's a rolling start and they're quite separated there, okay? It would be 0 if it started on the corner for the rear guys, but it's not, so it's 0.5. If the rolling start was closer, that would go up to a 1. That's there. Tyre choice, 0.5. The racing soft tyres do not suit Group 3 in my opinion. They're a bit weird. They really are a bit weird. Sometimes they have super grip and then sometimes they have no grip. It's very bizarre. For me, the racing medium tyre is the tyre of choice in terms of Group 3. Now, if there was 2 tyre choices there in terms of the race, that would probably be a 1 as well. So if it was racing mediums or potentially 2 tyre choices, that would be a 1. So that would increase the score there. Racing-wise, awesome racing here at Nurburgring GP, so that's always a 1. Strategy-wise, there is strategy there. You saw that in this video. You can either do the no tyre change and get out of traffic, or go for the tyre change and really have some good racing. There aren't really any penalty issues here. The penalty line's in a good place, in my opinion. And in terms of where you do get penalties, again, no real issues there either. Race length got 0 points because it's a bit too small, this race length. It should be at least probably another 5 laps, 4 laps. Call it another 4, get it to lap 13 laps. Prevent some more strategy there being an odd number. That would actually significantly help this race. However, you would have to reduce the tyre wear at the same time in order to still have that strategy. Randomness is 0, and the reason for the randomness being 0, it's the same race over and over and over again. It doesn't change, and we really do want to see some changes in there, maybe wet weather sometimes, and that's the reason why. It's not a new combo either. It's a common combo here, so that's why it gets 0 anyway, and it doesn't get my seal of approval because of the race length and the randomness being 0 and the tyre choice. I like a good race. I really like a good race with everything combined. So if you can get all that matched up, that would be a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, this isn't in this situation. That's going to be it though for this video. What do you think then? Should they change the chicane to the better layout in my opinion? Is it a better layout for you? Do you prefer this one, the really tight one? Do let me know in the comments. As always, if you have enjoyed it, do give it a like, do subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.